let's practice graphing transformations. In this case, a transformation of a quadratic function. So let k of x equal -1/2 times the argument x plus 5 squared plus 2. So remind myself that I will set the argument equal to 0. So I will set x plus 5 equal to 0 and solve for x, and I will get x equal -5. This is also a reminder that to find this key point on my quadratic function, I should go left 5 units and up 2 units. Now, this video is going to go a little bit quickly because all of the writing is done already. I'm just going to show you the different items, so it will be helpful to you to pause the video when you get to a point where you have to do some writing, and then catch up again. Okay. So I said that I like x equal -5. And then after I plug in x equal -5, I will plug in other x values that are around -5, like -6 and -4, -7 and -3, -8 and -2, and we are looking to see the quadratic open up before our eyes around the center at x equal -5. Furthermore, we see that the a value is negative, which means that the quadratic will be reflected over the x-axis. And we also see that because the a value has its absolute value less than 1, that is to say it is a number that is a fraction either less than +1 or greater than -1. That's a confusing thing to understand, but vertical compression, squashing the function, vertical compression. So I anticipate that my graph will have a shape kind of like this. Left 5, up 2 to the vertex, this center point called the vertex, at -5, 2. And then it opens downward, and that it is vertically compressed. Now this is just a sketch, so the vertical compression is not necessarily obvious. So now let's go to plugging in our numbers. So let's see here. We should start with -5.
Would you rather lose your hard-earned
And we will say, evaluate f of -5. So plug in -5 for x. -5 plus 5 is 0. 0 squared is 0. 0 times -1/2 is still 0. And then 0 plus 2 equals 2. So that's the coordinate -5, 2. Now plug in the numbers around -5. So go left to -6, plug in -6. -6 plus 5, evaluate, is -1. -1 squared is 1. 1 times -1/2 is -1/2. Then -1/2 plus 2. Don't let the fraction give you a headache. -1/2 plus 2 is 3 over 2, which is the same as positive 1.5. Now quadratics are symmetrical, which means if we go left 1 unit and get a certain y value, we expect that if we go right, we will get the same value because they are symmetrical. And again, we do. When we plug in x equal -4 and evaluate, -4 plus 5 is positive 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times -1/2 is -1/2. And that number, -1/2 plus 2, again, is 3 over 2. Positive 1.5. We should keep plugging in, and oh, here we see at x equal -7, -7 plus 5 is -2. -2 squared is positive 4. Positive 4 times -1/2 is -2, and -2 plus 2 is 0. Y equals 0. The coordinate -7, 0. This is a root. Y equals 0. And we get the same thing at x equal, what is it? What is this? X equal -3, because again, we have symmetry. So this is right 2 units from negative 5. And negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. Positive 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 1/2 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So this is another root. And finally, we have 2 more examples for you to observe. Good job!